What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And I tried so hard when it came to Epic creating a storefront to look at it as a positive thing, to look at it as a good thing. And I think it could have been, but it's just turned out not to be because Epic is making some epically bad decisions. And Epic, it's time to stop. I'm finally against you. It took this long. I tried, but you've made it impossible. Epic, it's time to stop.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay?
Now, this video is sponsored once again by the folks over at NordVPN, and in this video, we talk about people trying to steal your user data, and Nord is capable of keeping you safe from exactly that. I don't know if you realize this, but every time you connect your phone to a Wi-Fi at a restaurant, at a hotel, at a business center, wherever you're at, you're running the risk of somebody sniffing those packets and stealing your data. I'm talking about your bank passwords. I'm talking about your PayPal password. I'm talking about your social media accounts. And let me tell you, once you lose your Twitter password, you ain't never getting that back, by the way. And there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with NordVPN. For example, I block ads on my phone because I never trust ads on a lot of the websites I'm looking at on my phone. But with servers in over 60 different countries, you can connect to one of those servers and see what Netflix and Hulu and other streaming services look like in those countries. It's a great way to watch content you can't otherwise watch. So do yourself a favor and keep yourself safe and check out NordVPN at nordvpn.com/BOOGIE. And if you sign up for the 3-year plan, they will give you a 75% discount on that plan. And if you use coupon code BOOGIE, you get 1 month for free as well. And we're so sure that you're going to love this service once you try it that you can get a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's completely risk-free to try it, so check it out now and support me at the same time. So this week, on the official Twitter account, the folks who are making The Outer Worlds, that's Obsidian Games, announced that their game, the PC version, will appear exclusively on the Epic Games Store for the first 12 months. And people responded exactly the way you expected them to respond to this. Yes, everyone disliked it. And the reason this one is so particularly frustrating is because this is a game that people have been looking forward to for quite some time. Obviously, the folks over at Bethesda don't seem to really care very much about the Fallout license. But Obsidian, which once made a Fallout game, Fallout New Vegas, was going to pick up the mantle and they were going to create their own style, their own brand, their own version of a post-apocalyptic Fallout-style universe kind of game. And this was The Outer Worlds. And so a lot of PC gamers were excited for this game, and that excitement just got thrown completely away with this announcement. And I think it's fair in this case to be frustrated, because if you go back and look at the Outer Worlds trailer, which I have on the screen right now, you will see that they were advertising this game as coming on PS4, Xbox One, and Steam. And now it will not be coming out on Steam at launch. It will be coming to Steam, I guess, a year later. And that's very frustrating because a lot of people were only excited about this game because they thought they were going to be able to play it on Steam. If they can only play it on Epic's store, they do not want to play it at all. And look, there's plenty of reasons to be mad at Epic right now, specifically this kind of anti-consumer stuff. But there's a lot of other things that Epic is getting wrong. Let me show you what I'm talking about. PC Gamer actually made this really good chart of stuff that Steam offers that Epic's game store currently does not offer. That includes cloud saves, user profiles, user reviews, forums, mod distribution, groups, item trading, library sorting, account sharing, streaming to other devices, broadcasting, screenshot capture sharing, user-created guides, and wish lists. None of that stuff is available on the Epic Game Store. The only feature that they do have is friends list and chat. So it is not even the beginning of an actual social media game store. It is very much just a storefront and nothing else. So if you choose to buy a game that was going to come onto Steam, that is now on the Epic Store, you are giving up forums and the ability to write a review, the ability to broadcast it natively in the app, you basically give up all of those features that you would have otherwise gotten on Steam. And that's a very fair criticism, I think. But on top of that, Epic has been making mistake after mistake. In fact, they're fighting a little bit dirty here. It was actually rumored early this week that the Epic Store client was copying a Steam user data file called localconfig.vdf. Now, according to Epic's statement, they were not doing anything with that file unless you opted to import your Steam friends, at which point it would only send hashed friend IDs to Epic servers. But Steam agrees, most users agree, they should not even be looking at anything in the Steam folder. This is fighting dirty. Now, Doug Lombardi at Valve said that they would be looking into what information the Epic Launcher collects from Steam, and he said that the Steam client locally saves data such as the list of games you own, your friends list, and saved login tokens, and that this was private user data stored on the user's home machine and was never intended to be used by other programs or uploaded to any third-party service. Epic absolutely should not be doing this. That's my data. That's my machine. I don't want it leaving my hard drive. I don't want it going anywhere else. I obviously share it with Steam because Steam already has that data. Steam's the service I've chosen to use. If I download Epic Store, I do not want Epic to have that data. I would never consent to let them have it, so they shouldn't be taking it without my consent. But the biggest issue I think we as consumers need to face when it comes to the Epic Store is their decision to start throwing money at games developers to get them to pull games that would have been announced for Steam to be exclusive or timed exclusives on the Epic Store. And this is something they have now done with some very big games. Metro Exodus is probably one of the biggest ones, which was pulled within 3 weeks of launch. Now we have The Outer Worlds, and this is just an anti-consumer business. I'm really frustrated that they are doing this, and I can't believe that anybody's willing to put up with it. Now, I do support exclusives. If you want to have a game that is exclusive to the PlayStation, exclusive to Nintendo, exclusive to the Xbox, I have no problem with that. But the thing is, I want you to take your money, that Xbox money, that Epic money, that Fortnite money, and invest it in a company, invested in a new game, a new IP, a sequel to a game that otherwise would not exist, such as God of War or Spider-Man or Nathan Drake's Uncharted series, and create something new. Don't buy something that already exists and keep players from being able to play it. That doesn't make any sense. That is the definition of anti-consumer, and I'm not willing to put up with it, and I hope that you are not either. Metro Exodus was actually a company that reached out to me, sent me some swag, sent me a code, and I've never streamed that game. I've barely talked about that game because they made the decision to pull the game from Steam and move it to Epic Store. And now I guess I have to do the same thing with The Outer Worlds because I don't want to celebrate a company's decision to be anti-consumer, even if the game is good. Now, Epic's Game Store has come out and said that Metro Exodus outsold the previous game on Steam at launch. And I really feel like Ben Kachura here is kind of warping the facts for this story. In fact, I feel a lot of reporters are. And I think Epic is obviously warping the numbers here a little bit too, because that's an unfair comparison to make. Epic said that Metro Exodus has sold 2.5 times more copies on the Epic's Game Store than Metro last night sold in the same amount of time on Steam. This proves, according to Allison, that it's really about your game, not so much about the store that you sell it on. You have to be particularly oblivious to the facts to focus on something like that. Number one, PC gaming was a bit of a slump back when Metro last night came out. That was back in 2013. So there certainly weren't as many people with PCs that could run those games at the time to begin with. But when it comes to the Metro series specifically, that game has only grown in popularity since the original release. It was fairly popular when Last Night was revealed, but since then it has become a bit of a critical darling and a game that a lot of people have played on their PCs to really test their PC limits. It's a game that has grown a huge following, so obviously the sequel was going to do better. In fact, in most cases, the sequels to previous games in a franchise do better than the original games most of the time. And look, I'm not going to try to say that this game is a flop on the Epic Store or any stretch of the imagination. It's clearly doing very well over there, and it's obviously done very well on Xbox and PlayStation as well, as it should, because it is a very good game. But we'll never know how well it would have done had it sold on Steam. Chances are it would have gotten much more than 2.5 times the sales of Last Night. It might have got 3 or 4 or 5 times. If it was sold on both stores, instead of just the Epic Store exclusively, it certainly would have done even better. And developers, look, I'm not making the case that you can't sell your game on the Epic Store. I want you to sell it on the Epic Store, but I also want you to sell it everywhere else you can. On Nintendo, on PlayStation, on Xbox, on Steam, on Uplay, on Origin, on Grand Ole Gaming, everywhere that you can sell that game. You should never settle for an exclusive case. You should sell it everywhere you can. I know Steam doesn't offer as good as an offer, but at the end of the day, you can get more players, and isn't that what it's about? Is selling your game to players so players can play your games? Isn't it about goodwill? Isn't it about entertainment? Isn't it about making people happy? Because if it's not, you probably shouldn't be in this industry. Because it doesn't matter how good the deal that Epic is offering you. It really doesn't. Because at the end of the day, that amount of money should not be worth the goodwill that you have built up with your customers. It should not be worth sacrificing all of those fans and all of those experiences and all of that joy you could otherwise provide to make a few extra dollars when you can make plenty of money, certainly make your money back, but make even possibly more money by selling it on every possible storefront. It's just a good decision. Now, forever the eternal optimist, I will once again say that there might be a silver lining here. This might be something that whips Steam into shape and gets them to start making video games again, or at least offering better deals to developers and getting their own exclusive games. But I wouldn't celebrate that either unless they were spending money to create a brand new exclusive game with some of those awesome franchises they already own. I don't want to see them buying stuff up. I want to see them making sure that they create something new that makes other people want to install Steam and celebrate Steam and use Steam. So that's the only good thing that could come out of this, but otherwise it's all bad. I tried so hard, Epic, to support you on this. I tried so hard and I got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter, does it? I couldn't do that with a straight face. Well, that's just one man's opinion. I could be wrong, and I know if I am wrong, you're to let me know in the comments section below. And while you're down there, do me a favor, drop a like on this video. Let YouTube know you liked it. Hit subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, hit that notification bell, because if you are one of the first people to watch a video within an hour of it going live, you can help guarantee the success of that video for that YouTuber, and I would really appreciate it if you did that. While you're down there, check out our sponsor, once again, NordVPN. The folks over at Epic are not the only people trying to steal your data, and I think you should be really careful with it on your phone and all your devices. I use it, and I hope that you guys do too. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.